Have you ever had this moment where things did not look like they were working in your favor and yet God came through anyway? That's what we see in Genesis 36, because Jacob has now come back to Canaan. Esau has been in Canaan. Esau has married Canaanite women. He has established a family in Canaan, and now Jacob is returning to this land that God has promised to give him. Jacob married outside of Canaan. He had kids outside of Canaan. So you would think he's coming in as the foreigner, as the guest, but there's this verse, verse 6 of chapter 36 says, Esau took his wives, his children, and his entire household, along with his livestock and cattle, all the wealth he had acquired in the land of Canaan, and moved away from his brother Jacob. We saw a few chapters ago that as Jacob was coming back towards Canaan, Esau came out to meet him. Jacob was nervous. He was worried about how Esau was going to treat him. And there's this beautiful picture that we get to see in this story that Jacob was worried about how things were going to turn out. He saw things in front of him. He's like, man, I don't think this is going to be for my good or work out in my favor. And yet God was orchestrating and working all along. He was moving in Esau's heart, maybe without Esau even recognizing it. And it was as Jacob continued to be obedient and continued to trust the Lord was moving on his behalf, and he displaced Esau, moved Esau out of Canaan to create space for the promise that he had already made to Jacob. And so even when we feel like things are not working out in our favor or not turning out how we thought they were going to, God is still at work, and he is always true to his word. It does not mean you always will get what you want, but God is not going to change. He is always true to his word. And so even when things don't look hopeful, be hopeful, because God is the source of our hope. Make today count.